How long is it?
Half hour to an hour.
Ouch, oh my god. Just cracked my jaw. Oh.
Alright, ready? Here we go. Alright, everybody. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Cryptids, Anomalies, and the Paranormal Society. I am your host, Barnaby, tonight joined by my mom.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Hi. I'm not sure. I've been better.
Yeah. You've been off work for this whole corona thing, huh?
Yeah, at least 10 days. Forced.
Forced, yeah.
I got another 2 weeks at least. If not more.
That sucks. I still think I gotta go back to work tomorrow, so.
Yeah, well. Good luck with that.
Yeah. Now, was that fake or real? Anyway.
Normal.
That's yeah, that's pretty much normal, yeah. So, my chair keeps rolling away. My floor isn't level. So, this is your first time on the podcast?
Yep.
Yep. And so I thought that tonight we could just kind of get to know you better.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So the first investigation, well, let's go back and you were with CAPS since we started this, pretty much since the first official Burlington investigation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
second one.
Well, the first official one, because
Yeah.
the first one with me and Derek wasn't really CAPS yet. It was just, Derek, are you bored? Let's go on a road trip. Oh man, I just knocked a bunch of stuff down.
It wasn't my first investigation of it ever, but it was.
Yep, that's what I was getting at. You started with me and Derek working at the Misery Haunted House.
Yes.
And we did several investigations out there. Was that your first experience with investigating?
I guess knowing what I was doing. I mean, I had a brother who liked to dabble, and, but he didn't include me too much, but I did hear about his escapades. So there was always a lot of, stuff going on. Little Ouija board. A lot of Ouija board for him, but, we did have a Ouija board when we were younger.
So you've actually played with one?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I never really had it do anything, but tried.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, so that's going way back to that stuff. So what were your experiences then growing up with that kind of the paranormal and such?
Not a lot of experiences, just, we tried and it never really did anything. I mean, the other kids would push the thing in a certain direction they'd want it to go, and, it was, nothing really reliable or whatever, nothing really true. But my brother did have experiences with it, but he had moved to California and he found a little old lady that liked to play with the Ouija board, and they had a lot of strange experiences, but he didn't talk about it a lot, but we did watch him one night when we went out there on vacation and watched them. They were out on the patio, so we couldn't hear them, and we had the patio door closed in between, and watched them, and, it was interesting, but, I don't really know what they were talking about, but they did that a lot.
So going forward then, what would you say your first experience would have been?
I don't know. A real experience where I kind of understood maybe what was going on was after Ma died. But otherwise, before that, there probably was other. Well, no, there was creepy things in the garage and.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that.
Dog and, tore down the old garage that had been built probably around 1900, and after it was torn down, built a new one up, or had somebody build it. And after that, my dog wouldn't go in it. I went out there when it was new, took pictures in there. Things showed up on the pictures, like smoke that wasn't there, and then the faces in the smoke that were kind of weird. I had double exposure pictures that were like one room downstairs, one room upstairs, had nothing to do with each other, and I don't know, there was just orbs, but orbs could be dirt because there was, even though it was a new building, there was still dirt out there.
Dust settling from construction and stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
To explain more on...
Huh?
I said to explain more on that, right after the garage was built, you went out there and that was a film camera, not a digital.
Yes. It's, actual printed pictures.
You have negatives of these, the actual film negatives.
Yep.
And they're not like something that happened in editing or in printing or anything. They actually show up on the negatives. And you can take, I think those were from up in the balcony, right? The mist ones?
Yeah.
So there's a series of pictures.
The back room, too, which, that's downstairs. So how that picture happened, I don't know.
But that's still more in that same area where the old garage used to be.
Yeah. Yeah. But, where the dog used to go into the old garage, but he would not go, he will not step over the threshold into the new garage. And they say dogs have, like a sense about that stuff. I don't know, he just would never go in there.
So yeah, you were taking pictures off the balcony, and like the first picture's clear, fine, everything, and then the next one has this like misty fog cloud in it. Yeah. A
lot of it.
Like it fills almost the whole picture, I believe.
Yep. And then there's, I can find like 3 faces in there. Most other people can see 2 of them.
Isn't there like a lion's face or something, wasn't there? What looks like it?
Yeah, one kind of is, or like a guy with a mustache, and then there's like a skull, and then there's another one that's kind of just fuzzy. I don't remember what that one actually looked like, but yeah. There's some weird faces in there.
That's one place that we were supposed to investigate that we haven't yet.
Yep. Too much stuff out there right now.
Yeah, that there is. Yeah, and then when we used to do pro wrestling out there in the garage, we used to have the radio turn on for no reason too.
Yeah, and you were out there one night and the door flew open on you. When the door is, got a latch on it, it can't stay shut.
Oh yeah, the garage, the big door.
Yeah, the big door.
Yeah, that's right.
The 10-foot door. And, it doesn't stay down unless you push the lever over, So, and you said it opened up. I've been out there and the other door opens, but the little door, I don't know. I don't go out there too much after dark.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That should be put on our to-do list.
Okay.
Okay. We did investigate your house, though.
Yeah.
Right after we got the Ovilus.
Oh, okay. Well, you and Derek did investigate it, too.
Oh,
way
yeah.
Back when.
Yeah. I don't remember too much coming from that.
You didn't like the front room. Or Derek didn't like the front room.
Oh, I never liked that room to begin with in the basement.
Well. Yeah.
That room was always creepy.
This whole house is creepy.
Yeah, so when exactly was that whole house built?
It's either 1903 or 1905. The records say different things, so nobody really knows. It was supposedly a flop house way back when. I'm not sure what that means, but that's what they say it was. And technically it was 3 apartments or like 3... they're not apartments because we can't figure out how it was divided up.
Mm-hmm.
But 3-family home or whatever you want to say. The one room upstairs actually has the doorknob locked to the outside or to the inside so that someone is locked in the room, not out of the room. We never could figure that out, never changed the lock. The door doesn't shut tight now, so nobody can get locked in there. But, yeah, that's a little weird.
So you could lock someone in the room from the outside, not the inside?
Yes.
Definitely interesting.
Yeah.
I grew up in that house, and, I lived several years in this weird house, so that probably explains a lot.
Yeah. That was Graham's room, so, The door never did shut. None of the doors shut in this house now.
No.
Shut tight.
You've added on to that house, the house itself, too.
I what?
You added on to the house itself,
Oh, yeah,
too.
I've added on to the house, too.
Do you ever have anything weird out there?
Not really.
Not that you pay attention
Not out there.
to.
No. There's a ticking that goes on out there. I don't know what that is.
Hmm.
I don't know. I mean, that's still to now. Just last week it was doing that, but I figure that's just critters crawling up the walls or something.
So, all right. So you've, before any of this stuff happened, before we ever had Misery in that, you used to read a lot of like John Edwards and Sylvia Browne and stuff. So what actually got you interested in all that?
Well, I used to watch the TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
And there was, Sylvia Browne was always on with Montel, and then John Edwards had his own show. James Van Prague had his own show, and now he does. What does he do now? He does some specialized service now. He used to help with police and solving murders and stuff, and I don't know. And then John Edwards had a couple books out, so I got a hold of those and read them. And Sylvia Browne had one book that was she's got a lot of books, but she had one that was called Finding Your Spirit Guide, and I read that. Trying to think of if I read the other one. I don't know the name of it, but I know I read another one. I don't know. They just, interested me, but, I tried to find my spirit guide, but it didn't work. And then after my mom died, then I went back and read the John Edwards one again, and some more of his, because it was how to tell, if someone's really haunting you or not, or whatever, because things happened after my mom died that I couldn't explain, weird things in the house, like there was knocking in the closet, and and they said that when people pass, it takes a couple months, for them to actually get to a point where they can communicate back, and supposedly, but there was this knocking in her closet, and it finally was driving me nuts because it was every night. And I finally told it to go away. It's okay if it's her, just it's enough. I get the idea, you're around, and then it stopped. So we had a whole discussion that night, that was get out of my closet pretty much, So I don't know. Then let's see. Well, that was lately when I got my Ovilus, and I took that around. I think that was Thanksgiving Day.
Oh, yeah.
And I got the Ovilus out, and first thing it said was September and David. And September was my mother's birthday. And David was my one of my brothers, the first one to die. He died of leukemia back in 1985. And so I just thought, okay, it's Thanksgiving. They're both just saying hello or whatever. So then I kind of turned the Ovilus off. But then I got it back out again, and was walking around my house, and it started saying, I don't even remember the words that it was saying, but they weren't happy words. And I said, where are you? And it said, closet. And I'm like, okay, fine, you want to, I don't know. It was just, I can't remember the words that it was saying, but it was not happy. It was sad, and I can't remember the other word. But it wasn't happy. It was in my closet, and it wasn't happy. And I just thought, okay, fine, I'm just going to leave you alone. And I put the Ovilus away, and I don't think I've gotten it out since then, so I don't want to know what's in my closet. It's the same closet Ma was in, so, Anyway. I don't know. I read the books for information to see if it can explain things that happen around here and, and other places. I used to work in a big building that everybody said was haunted, and, a few weird things happened out there, but, at that time I didn't really know, it didn't bother me. I just, take note of it and, try not to think too much about it.
That was a big, creepy building.
Yeah, it was.
Anyway.
You never knew if somebody else was in there with you or not. But.
Yeah. There were some places in that place, like the middle level of that thing I never liked either, yeah.
Yep. The hospital rooms or whatever. Yeah,
when I walked around the corner towards the kitchen there and I found the gurney.
Yep.
That was kind of creepy.
Was creepy.
But that was a lot younger then. I mean, that was before I really started getting into any of the weird stuff.
Yeah, you were only...
Nowadays, I'd crawl all over that place. Well, It's gone. It's tore down, gone. Can't go there.
Yep.
But
Did you ever go on the third floor?
With all the booths, yeah. Or the viewing rooms, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I think you told me something happened up there, like something, yeah.
Yeah, that one last room. I don't remember. We kind of did an investigation up there, didn't we? I remember
I think so.
Up there showing you. Maybe I was just showing you around. I don't know. Yeah, it was a little weird out there, too.
So, moving on to weird buildings. We had Misery Haunted House for 3 years. And while we were in that building, we had a lot of weird experiences and stuff. And we covered a lot of that, like, in the episode. Yeah. But I think there was some stuff that, like, got cut out of yours that didn't, fit with everybody else's stuff. And that. So, well, there was hours and hours of
I spent a lot more time there.
Yeah, I know.
Most people, yeah.
So, what was your weirdest moment out there? I gotta go with my tree. I mean,
yeah.
That was...
I don't know. There was a lot of weird moments, just like all the time was weird out there. I never liked it upstairs much, alone. Mm-hmm. Well, alone at night. I was alone up there during the day. I was alone out there a lot of times. I don't know. The thing where you guys took off and left me and I was building walls and, and I kept plugging my drill in and I'd walk over because it was a long way from where the plug was to where I was working, and I'd walk back over to where I was drilling and the drill would be unplugged again. And I wasn't pulling on the cord. There was plenty of cord there, and I'd have to go back and walk to the other end, plug it back in, come back out, and I'd go to drill and it'd be unplugged again. And finally I just got mad and I said, leave it alone, I got things to do, and then, and it's like, fine, okay. But there was a lot of that,
Kind of playful, annoying stuff.
Playful, yeah, just annoying. You know, we just want to let you know we're here.
Mm-hmm.
I did see shadows, peeking out around corners and things, and just creepy feeling, when you walk around that building. It was just more feelings than it was actual things happening.
Mm-hmm.
Being touched, maybe, where you feel like you're being poked or pushed. I had a lot of that.
The turkey?
Yeah, well, the turkey was, something else, too.
Yeah, it's not often that something would happen there that, first of all, more than one person would see or experience at the same time.
Yeah.
And two, something of the magnitude of it moving, physically moving, audibly hearing it move, and, that was probably one of the more intense things that we all had experience out there.
Yeah. And, and there was no way, it was in a cage. Nobody was touching it or anything. It's not, you can't make the thing move within a cage the way it moved.
Mm-hmm.
To like lunge like that.
Yeah, it just lunged forward in the cage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Yeah, that was weird. I forgot about him. I try and forget about him.
Now, you still have that turkey, don't you?
Yes, he's out in my garage.
We should go visit him. We'll have to visit him.
Got rid of the cage, but still have the turkey.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to that cage. I don't know if it got junked when we left there or if it got bought.
I think it got bought when the rest of the cage, not the cages, but the big crates.
I don't know. I don't think so. I want to say that thing went in the dumpster. I hope that it went in the dumpster.
Well, that's, yeah. That would have been you. You loaded the dumpster.
Yeah. That was a very frostbitten day that day, so I don't know much about it. But. So, you were into all the, like Sylvia Brown, Crossing Over, John Edwards, all that stuff. So, at what point did you start getting interested in more of the Bigfoot and that kind of stuff? Or did that all come about kind of with the Hayden Adventure and Burlington?
Really interested was more Hayden. But then, but I've thought about Bigfoot, way back when the Patterson film came out, but then there was the hoax by the other guy, that went out and made his footprints, and everything was always just, oh, it's just a hoax, But I don't know. I've always looked in the sky to see if there was something flying over, and,
Mm-hmm.
Never really saw anything that I know of. Till lately. But, till after we really started looking.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot, that the more you look, the more you see, because you're actually open to seeing it, or you're actually looking.
Yeah.
Something could be right outside your house now, but if you're not looking out there for it, you're never going to see it, Mm-hmm. Probably shouldn't have said that to you. It's just raccoons outside your house.
Yeah, possums.
Oh. And ducks.
Dug it up the other night again.
You have a family of mallard ducks living there, huh?
Yeah, well, they were here during the day today. Yep.
I don't know. I saw 2 males there that day than I was, so.
Oh, no, there's a male and female out here this afternoon.
Oh. Well, the other day when you told me not to scare them, there was 2 males.
Oh. And, well, when it gets closer to summer, there's sometimes 8 of them out there.
Ooh.
So, yeah. I have ducks all the time. They know where the food is.
So, so what is your opinion on the Patterson film then?
I don't know. At the time, it was like, nobody really thought it was real, but I don't know. I just read I read an encyclopedia of Bigfoot by
Redfern?
Redfern, yeah.
Nick Redford.
Yeah, Redfern. And in there was another whole account of it, and then how there were stories of this other guy who, I don't want to misquote things, but he was known to be a hoaxer, and he had admitted to knowing who was in the costume that day, and he admitted to telling the two guys that were out there filming,
Kimlin and Patterson,
giving them suggestions as to where to look and what time of day and all this stuff. And then he set up the guy in the suit, or was it? Yeah, it was a guy that was in the suit. Because first they said it was an off-duty policeman or something was said, and then it was this other person who was in the suit, and but he took all the credit for the whole thing of putting the suggestion into those two guys that they should go out there and relive this adventure from a long time ago or whatever, and go look in this certain area and at this time of day, and but otherwise, to me it looks real, but what do I know? I don't think it looks like a suit, but I don't know. And then the other experts say that, they can see the muscular structure of the creature or whatever, and all this. So they say it's real. This guy says he set it all up. Maybe this guy was just looking for fame. I don't know. I don't know. But at the time, it was a big deal.
So that was 1967, right?
Yeah.
So how old were you when it came out? Did you actually ever see it when it first came out?
I don't remember. I mean, I was only, 67. I would have been 6 years old. So, if I would have seen it, I really probably didn't know what it was. But through the years, I've seen it over and over many times. But I do remember, the people making big feet and going in the woods and, faking it and in the snow and, making their own footprints and saying, oh, look, it's a Bigfoot, There was a lot of that going on afterwards. But I don't know.
So do you think Bigfoot itself is real?
In some form. I'm not sure what form.
You don't know what it is, but you believe it exists.
Yeah, I believe people see it, hear it, feel it, smell it. Something.
Now, the more I research this thing, the more I listen to accounts of it and read up on it and stuff, the more I would say that whatever was going on in Burlington was more and more likely to be whatever this is, Bigfoot or Anomaly, whatever.
Whatever they want to call it, whether it's Yeti or Yowie or Yenin or, whatever name they want to call it. I don't believe that they're all the same.
Yeah, I would bet that too.
They're not all like a grizzly bear is a grizzly bear, but yet that's been proven too.
There's different species of grizzly bear too. There's Alaskan grizzlies. There's northern. There's European grizzlies. There's all the subspecies of that too. It's wherever they grew up. They each adapt a little bit different.
Actually, in that encyclopedia, there was a thing on grizzly bear, polar bear.
Yep.
That was around, so.
And everyone said that wasn't possible.
Huh?
Everyone was saying that wasn't possible, that you couldn't breed a grizzly and a polar bear. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. But like,
you can.
I know you didn't. You said you heard a growl right off the main trail in Burlington.
I heard growls when you guys were further ahead of me, and it was around the time of the whistling and tree breaking and all that. I heard like two different growls, or 2 different times. It was kind of the same growl.
What did they sound like? Because the very first day that me, you, Michael, and Derek and Michael's wife went in there, we only had the one camera. So we only have audio from my head. We don't have audio from back by you. Yep.
And it was more back by me or back, okay, nobody else knows, but you know where the whistles were way across the way and
Yeah.
then one up behind us. This growl came from, like, up behind us.
On the top of that ridge.
Up behind me.
Yeah.
You guys were way, let's say I get my directions wrong there. But to me, that was, you guys were to the west, which is probably wrong. You guys
No.
were probably to the north, right?
I would say we were to the east.
Okay, see?
The airport is to the west.
In those woods, I don't know which direction is which.
Yeah.
But, okay, so...
The
if you
power
guys-
lines run east to west, I believe.
Yeah, I know that when I'm out of there.
Oh, well,
But
yeah.
when you're in the woods, I can't see the power lines, so I don't know. Okay, so... Okay, let's just say you guys were in front of me. I was facing you down the path.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this growl came from up, back to my right.
Yes. Up on that
Yeah.
ridge. Yeah.
Up there, yes. Wherever that was.
And that's where I got the thermal image, too.
Yes.
Yep.
All back in that area, back towards the bridge.
Not towards
Kind of.
the bridge, up from
No,
the
but-
bridge.
Yeah, up
Yeah.
the hill from the bridge.
Further ahead of the bridge. Where
Yeah,
Mary
across-
said that she had her encounter, too.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
that same area there, yep.
Yep.
And then you guys heard the growl on the other end. But that's after we exited
Yeah, we had left.
the woods.
We had left, gone up to the ridge under the power line, and we were up there for a while when Michael found that top trail. Then we walked that top
Yep.
trail all the way in and back out, and then me, Michael, and Michael's wife got that really deep growl.
Yeah, and I was talking, so I didn't hear it.
Yeah, and I want to try and get better audio editing stuff and see if I can clean that up more. But, so when you heard the growl, what did it sound like?
It was just really deep, but not like any animal I've heard.
Like, would you say it was like a guttural?
Yeah, just guttural vibration,
Yeah.
you know, just, I can't do it, but,
Yeah.
you know.
No. Yeah, I get it. Because that's what we heard. And that's what's
Yeah.
on the tape, but the wind kind of blocks the beginning of it.
Yeah.
You have to know what you're listening for to hear it. Because
Yeah.
the wind comes in and then it ends with like a rumbling growl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we've gone all across the country, me and you, and, me all the way out to, like, California and stuff, to zoos and everything. And I've heard, lions and tigers and elephants and all the animals, and I've never heard a growl like that.
No.
Even like thunder, because a little bit later on we have thunder on that audio. And the thunder is more of it's a deep, but it's not the reverberating sound.
Mm-hmm. And there's airplanes out there, but they all have a different sound. They're not, that's three, and the train, everything has its own sound. The train, the plane, the thunder, and then this growl.
Yeah,
It's
and
not, they're
you
not anything
feel
like.
the growl.
Yeah.
Whereas the rest of it you just hear. You hear the airplane, you hear the thunder, but the growl you felt.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like
It's kind of like when a lion roars, too. If you're anywhere near a lion when it's roaring,
Mm-hmm.
you can feel the vibration, but that's not the sound that this was. I mean, it's like that.
oh
but
no,
it's
no,
not
it wasn't
a
a
tiger roar.
it wasn't a roar, it was a growl.
No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, it's I don't know.
But we never saw anything. And now I have some more theories as to why that was. They can be up in the trees. They usually stay really close to the ground. A lot of people claim that they're like covered in moss and leaves and stuff so that they can hide easier. So there's a lot of different things that, and they move really fast.
Yeah. And at that time, we didn't know all the little things they can do. We didn't know to look up in the trees. You
Yep.
know, we learned that later. We didn't know that, well, they know the woods better than we do.
Oh, yeah.
So they knew where to hide, where to be, where we can't see them, but they can see us.
And we didn't know, that was our first time being in those woods, so we never
Yeah.
knew places that they could be. Like the fact that when we were watching it on the thermal, and I say, oh, it just disappeared. I don't think it disappeared. I think it went down in that valley. Because now that we've been in there with no leaves on the trees and everything this fall and winter, you can see that that dips way down into a valley up there on the other side of that ridge. And I think whatever was standing there on the thermal just walked off into the valley.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, now that we know a lot more about it and have a lot more equipment and stuff, I'm pretty excited to go back in there this summer and see what we can find.
Mm-hmm.
I do, if I can find this real quick, I want to read you something that I found online. Okay, so this was a post on one of the Bigfoot research pages, and it said, anyone get chest pounding in the field? I think I had a Bigfoot chest pounding a few months back. It sounded like a drum. It kept on for a while, several minutes, until I pounded a shovel against a rock, and then it quit and started back up. The only story that I have read with a drum sound, and this is for, maybe you can look this up, a drum sound is from Lauren Coleman's book, Bigfoot, with Fred Beck, Myron Smith, Roy Smith, Gabe Lefevre, and John Peterson were prospecting in 1918. They described hearing thundering, hollow thumping noise, and like a hollow drum in the earth somewhere, and something hitting it. They ultimately had their cabin attacked in 1924 after shooting at a Bigfoot. I believe that would be the Ape Canyon incident.
Could be. It was probably in that encyclopedia book, but I don't remember all the names of everybody. But yeah, there was cabins that were attacked, and they heard footsteps on the roof, and
yeah, that always interests me.
And then you know, they beat on the thing, but they figured the cabin was sturdy enough, so they just stayed in, and then in the morning they carefully went out and looked on the roof, and then took off. You know, just make sure he's not out there anymore.
Yeah.
So.
What do you think about that? The fact that a lot of these people hear like Bigfoot running on their roof.
I don't know if you know, cabins usually aren't too.
Well, these are just houses.
Not that high.
These are houses, though.
Yeah.
Like those people that have habitations where they live in the woods, their houses back up to the woods and stuff. They all, not all, but a lot of them.
I think, you know, they're going to like to climb. You know, if they're any kind of primate at all, they're going to climb and be up where they can see.
But think about the amount of weight that is.
Yeah.
If these things are 10 feet, 8 to 10 feet tall, and they got to weigh...
That's why you can hear them.
500 to 1,000 pounds? Just to be safe there? I mean, that's a big guy walking around up on your roof.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I suppose if you have a team of roofers, you got like maybe 1,000 pounds of roofer up there working on it, but I mean, they're not all standing in the same spot.
Yeah.
I don't know. That unless they're like younger ones or something, because a lot of people think that the Bigfoot that you see on the road. Here's another theory: is a lot of the people say that the Bigfoots that you see on the road are the younger ones, and the stupid ones. And not saying that they're stupid, but the younger, less experienced, the adolescents of the species. And that's why you're seeing them, is because they haven't learned better. But that also leads to people saying that all the ones you see aren't the big ones.
Yeah.
That there could be 10 to 12 foot specimens out there that no one sees, or very few people see. I think I was telling you about that. I think I was telling you about that one encounter that was on Sasquatch Chronicles, and the guy is up in a tree stand 20 feet in the air, and the Bigfoot reaches up and just like grabs the heel of his shoe, and just walks away, just to let you know I'm here and stuff. But I mean, 20 feet in the air. Granted, these guys' arms are probably, if the Bigfoot's 8 feet tall, and his arm is supposed to hang below his knee. We'll give him like 4 or 5 foot arms, you know, and that's still only, you know, 12, 13 feet, 14. Yeah. So how big was the Bigfoot to reach that tree stand? Even 10 foot with 10 foot arms.
Foot in the air, is that his foot was 20 foot in the air, or was his head 20 foot in the air?
Well, the base of the stand, I think, was. So
okay.
I don't know. It was a story on a thing, but wasn't there. Didn't talk to him personally, but
yeah.
But still, 20 feet in the air, you're looking at least even 18 feet. You know, if the base of the stand was, or the top of the stand was 20, say, you know. But I would think it was. Yeah, something like that. But still, that's a big creature. To be able to reach up that high.
Yep.
But
well, look at how long like orangutan's arms are. That's, you know.
Oh yeah.
He's got a pretty wide wingspan.
So.
You know.
So you're pretty much like the researcher of the group right now. I mean, as far as like the book reading. And ever since we started this whole thing, you've kind of gained a lot of interest there. Not gained a lot of info in this stuff. So what all have you read so far?
Jeez. A bunch of Chad Lewis's books, a bunch of Linda Godfrey's books, at least 5 of those. The Redfern, the encyclopedia. Trying to think, what was the other guy? A lot of podcasts. I've read Native American stuff. I've read folklore. I've read books on fairies and astrology and just, I don't know. I mean, I've always been into astrology, so I've read a lot of books on that, but way back when.
So you're pretty well versed on all the kind of fields and stuff.
Yeah, a lot of Native. Did I say that? Native
Americans, yep. Pretty much whenever I
research on bears, you know, just black bears and stuff like that too. I didn't get any books because, you know, everything closed. So, you know, that was my next trip. But, you know.
Well, not even that, but like, I mean, where I work, I can sit and listen to podcasts all day or books on tape or something. But when I come across something that, I mean, I work 11 to 12 hours a day, and I don't have time to sit down and read an actual book. So whenever I come across something that, oh, this is important, you know, this book sounds really good, I'll either buy it and give it to you to read or tell you to go read it.
Yeah, you got all the books now. I don't know who they were, you know.
Yeah, I can't think of who the other guy is that I just bought. His books. I really should know this.
Well, you gave me the one on effigy mounds, too.
Yep. Yeah, I still haven't read that one. Oh, man, this is really bad because if...
I've also read all the fantasy things, like, you know, Lord of the Rings and
Fablehaven.
Harry Potter stuff, and and all the Fablehaven, and then Dragon, what are those?
Aragon?
Eldest, Aragon, Eldest, and Saphira, or whatever her name was, Saphira. You know, all those just to... I mean, but that wasn't when I was researching stuff. That was just because
it's pretty interesting. I mean, like, the authors of those books actually looked into a lot of the... I mean, they took liberties and stuff with it, but they read into the lore, and a lot of that stuff is, I don't want to say factual, but flows along with the actual legends and lores and stuff.
Yeah, well, they had to do research in order to write the book, so they can make up their own, you know, they can take liberties when they write, but call it fiction. But they still have to start somewhere.
I want to talk about the whole Fablehaven theory. So Fablehaven is a like young adult book series, and it is two kids that go to visit their grandparents on this wildlife preserve. Or just basically their house. They didn't know it at the time. But they go to this wildlife preserve, and it turns out to be a preserve for mythical creatures and demons and dragons and all this stuff. And according to these books, these wildlife sanctuaries are all across the world. There's dragon sanctuaries, and then there's just mythical creature sanctuaries. Basically, it's like a safe zone for these entities to live without having to interact with the outside world. Or in some cases, some things like the demons and the dragons have been sent to live there so that they don't disturb the outside world. But there's some theory and thought that there's areas around the world in real life that actually are very similar to these wildlife sanctuaries. You know what I mean? I was just listening to a podcast that was talking about the origin of the National Park Service. So after, God, I'm going to get that wrong. After one of the wars, I don't remember which one, probably the First World War. What happened was all these soldiers came back to the U.S., and now that the war was over, they didn't have a job. So, I believe it's Theodore Roosevelt, or who was the president before him? Truman?
I don't know.
Established the... I really should look this up. But the...
Roosevelt had encounters, or
yeah.
knew of encounters, yeah.
But that's not what I'm getting at.
Oh. There are protected preserves where there is believed to be...
Wilson. Woodrow Wilson established the... This isn't helping. Established the National Park Service. I'm going to kind of look in here quick and see so I don't misquote this.
Well, like I said, there is preserves set up. I want to say in Japan, or I don't know. I was in that encyclopedia again. That are specifically protected because there's believed to be Bigfoot or Yetis or whatever in there, and they just don't want people going and bothering them. You know, I mean, among other animals, but
yes.
They just.
There is
not allowed to go in that area.
There's also one up in Canada, I believe. Okay, I can't find the name of that, but there was a group of people that I think it's Truman, when he started the National Park Service, and it's not on here. This is on History Channel's website, but they took all these ex-military that when they came back they needed jobs, and they put them to work in basically the forestry. So they'd go out and they'd build these national parks all over the U.S. And the biggest endorser for this was Roosevelt. And like you said, Roosevelt in his book wrote about one of his companions having an encounter with what he believes to be a Bigfoot.
Yep.
So there is a theory that these national parks are specifically placed by Roosevelt and, the United States of America to protect the natural habitats of Bigfoot. Mm-hmm. I can't figure out the rest of that, but yeah. But I've heard that a couple different times in places that, and like the woods that we go into down there, you have Bigfoot, you have fairies, you have all kinds of stuff in there that, and that's a wildlife, what is it, a wildlife, not a park, it's a,
nature trail? Or what
No,
is it?
there's a different name for it. Not a refuge, but it's a state wildlife area too. So this area has been set aside by the Parks Department, whatever. So, and you got Kettle Moraine. The 2 units of that are both set aside. So is it a coincidence that they were set aside because there was Bigfoot there? Or is there Bigfoot there because they were set aside? You don't know. But but it just seems like, a lot of interesting connections between that stuff. So I don't know. I thought that was interesting. But all right. Well, I think that's about enough for this week's episode.
Okay.
When we... Would you have anything else to add? I'm sorry.
No, I'm good.
You're good. All right. Yeah, I mean, stay safe. Don't go out if you don't have to, I guess. So don't die in a week.
Yep. Trying. Now, if people keep coming to my house,
Well, at least I was taking stuff from your house. I wasn't bringing it there this time.
Yeah.
This time. All right, everybody listening, I hope you guys have a nice, safe week, and we will be back next week with another episode of Cryptids, Anomalies, and the Paranormal Society. If you guys have any ideas for things that you'd like us to talk about or look into and discuss, feel free to leave a comment below or send us an email at wisconsincaps@gmail.com, or you can visit our website at Wisconsin Caps. If you've had an encounter with a paranormal entity, UFO, Bigfoot, Dogman, anything weird, Mothman, you can share your encounter with us. We'd love to hear it and look into it. Or if you've had any problems at your home residence or anything that you like some help with or need information on, we're always here for that too. And again, our website, Wisconsin Caps, CAPS.com, and our Gmail account email is wisconsincaps@gmail.com. So until next week, I'm Barnaby.
I'm Ma.
And thanks for listening. Have a good night, guys. Bye.